Hello traders, today is June the 21st. My name is Double Hornsey. I'm a market analyst trading, and today I'll be talking about the Japanese yen. All right, starting with the YouTrading.com Forex heat map, we can see that the yen is the weakest currency across the board, closely followed by the Chinese yuan and the US dollar. We are also seeing flows out of the Swiss franc. So last week, the S&P raised rates unexpectedly by 50 basis points. We saw an appreciation of the Swiss franc. Today, the franc, the yen, and the dollar are sort of showing that there are moves out of the safe havens into the commodity pairs, but also into the pound and the euro. Now, the euro is being affected by what's happening in the news. We've got this Finnish central bank governor, Olli Rehn, who is talking about inflation. And he said today that the European inflation here has provided good reasons to expedite the normalization of monetary policy. And by that, he means when it comes to September, he is expecting that the inflation across the Eurozone to be broader and stronger, which means that the ECB is likely to move higher than the 25 basis points in July. Come September, the magnitude of the rate hike is going to be bigger. Now, there are problems within the sort of European Union. Obviously, we've got fragmentation possibly happening. The ECB are determined to stop that from happening. So by that, they mean they don't want to see the German yields and the Italian yields diverge. Everybody should be moving at a sort of similar rate. All right, going back to the active trader platform, looking at the dollar versus the yen, because we're talking about the yen today. Looking to the left-hand side, that 80% of traders on this platform are trying to short the dollar versus the yen. So we're obviously expecting to see those guys get squeezed out of their short position. So we're expecting the dollar versus the yen to go higher. Now, we did say that the dollar and the yen are both weakening today. So maybe the dollar yen goes sideways. However, if we were to break higher, get back above the 14th of June, this old resistance I expect to become support. So I'll be looking for the 135 spot 5 to act as support before we move higher. Now, if we go to the monthly chart and we sort of pan out, we have to go all the way back to 1998. We've got the August candle here, monthly candle. The low of that candle, I think, may act as resistance, and that's around the 138 to the 140 sort of level. So if we break above the 135 spot 5 today, we've got quite a few points above us to sort of test into. So that's what I'm expecting today. A move higher in the dollar versus the yen come the US session. If we look to the yen, obviously the moves into the yen the last few days, being sort of stalled out after we had this bearishness here on the 15th and 16th of June. That got reversed on the 17th of June on Friday. And then we've just smaller body candles, so not a lot of movement. If we go to the pound versus the yen, again, 71% of traders are trying to short the pound versus the yen. And we are seeing that this price action today is butting up against the low from the 9th of June. So possibly this old support becomes resistance at 166.67. We have broken higher than the 17th of June high. So this candle here was a mother candle. Then we had this child candle here, inside candle price action. So we've broken above those highs. So we are seeing bullishness come into the market in the pound versus the yen. We did see on the Forex heat map that the pound and the euro are strengthening and the yen is obviously weakening. So I am expecting this to push through. So we're looking for a test higher than the 9th of June swing high. And, if you look to the left, 20th of April, relatively equal highs. So there's going to be liquidity above this high from 168.7. So possibly a move into the 170 by the end of the week. The momentum is obviously to the upside. So momentum generally leads price action. So with higher momentum or stronger momentum, we're looking for higher highs and higher lows. So again, looking for a break higher than the 9th of June on the pound versus the yen. Euro versus the yen. Again, 75% of the traders are trying to short this market. We have broken through the low from the 9th of June. So I am expecting to see a test of this double top here. These two candles relatively high around the 144 spot 2. That opens up a bigger move to the upside. So we go to the monthly chart. We look to the left, we still need to test the low from December 2014 around the 144 spot 7 to 145. So for me, euro, pound, and dollar yen looking likely to go higher. If we get back above the euro's swing high here from 2014, that then opens up a much bigger move. This imbalance here will be cut through quite quickly, and we'll be up to 164 relatively quickly, I'd imagine. So big moves to the upside potentially. On the monthly chart, the RSI is sort of showing that it is coming towards an overbought. So yeah, if we get through this particular price action, then the RSI can stay overbought for longer than we can stay afloat, should we be trying to short along with this cohort here on the active trader platform. When there is market turmoil, then there is a move into the yen. There has been recession worries with the Fed raising rates. We've obviously seen that the dollar versus the yen and the 10-year yields have been going higher together up until recently. So here in the black is the 10-year yields from the US. In orange is the dollar versus the yen. And you can see that, especially from sort of spring 2022, we have been rising kind of, lockstep. Then we come to the 14th of June, we had a spike higher. The 10-year yields came up to 3.5% and then found that to be resistance. And we had a pullback in the 10-year yields, which brought the dollar versus yen lower. The dollar versus the yen has since risen, but the 10-year yields have sort of stalled out around 3.28%. Obviously, yesterday, the US were on bank holiday. So today's session may see those yields rising again. And, as the Fed and all the other central bankers are looking to raise rates, we are in a rate hike cycle. So we are expecting the yields to go higher. We are also expecting to see that these raising of the rates will, kill demand, and that could then affect the GDP of nations. So if we look to the US GDP, we can see that last quarter, we actually went into negative territory. Obviously, if we get another negative quarter, that is essentially a definition of a recession. So the recession fears are in the sort of forefront of everyone's minds, along with inflation and rising energy prices. GDP now from the Federal Reserve, from the Atlanta Reserve, are sort of showing that they are expecting, as of 16th of June, 17th of June, that GDP will come down to zero. So it's not, much more before we get another negative reading, which then means, potentially we are in recessionary sort of territory. If that happens, you can expect to see the S&P 500 and similar indices coming lower. Currently on this monthly chart, you can see that we've broken through the 38.2% retracement, looking to see if we can get down to value around 50% retracement below the 3,600 down to the 3,500. If GDP is coming lower, then the stock market is going to reflect that, and we are going to see a push down. That could stall out the dollar versus the yen, as we see flows go back into the yen and other safe havens. So we have to consider what's going on economically as well as price action. Just because we've broken through the 2002 swing high here doesn't mean that they won't just sweep that high and then come lower and test the high from May. That's still a possibility. But for now, whilst we're looking at the sort of flows go out of the yen into the likes of the euro and the pound, I think that sort of helps pull the dollar versus the yen higher. And if we see the yields on the 10-year yield go higher, then that will also help the dollar versus the yen go higher. But at the moment, looking for the euro and the pound yen to go higher, and then hopefully the dollar yen will follow suit. All right, that's what I'm seeing on the yen at the moment. Good luck today, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow.